I guess you can see from the box and from the card, I made a watch purchase. Today I am showing you my most recent Omega purchase. This is an Omega Seamaster Trilogy 1957. So I recently did a video where I talked about my Planet Ocean and the reasons why I was selling my Planet Ocean. And one of the reasons is because I wanted to buy a Seamaster. I wanted to buy a smaller, more wearable, more everyday Seamaster for my wrist. That was a 45.5 millimeter watch. It was on the larger and thicker side. It was almost 17 millimeters thick. What I have gone and done is I have purchased a used, so this is a pre-owned watch that I bought off of course, eBay. I don't really learn my lesson here, but it actually worked out really well this time. This went through the authentication process on eBay. So it has been authenticated by, I believe someone told me it's actually Booker who do it in Ohio. I'm not sure where or who is actually doing it. If anybody does know exactly who's authenticating those watches, please add a comment down below and tell me. I'm actually interested in knowing because I've already done this a few times. It comes in a giant box. Now, this did not come with everything that it should come with. I have that all on the side, what did come with it. It didn't come with one of the most important things, and that is the large pouch that this actually should come with in here. And I'm actually trying to buy one. I'm going to buy one just to complete it a little bit. These, and I'm going to get into the price and the reason why I actually purchased this off eBay. As you can see here, Omega High Precision. This is sort of a corduroy, what they have done here. It's really padded. It's a very heavy, nice red leather. Beautiful, beautiful box. It's huge. It's enormous. It can't even fit into my camera. I have zoomed out completely. Very, very big box. And the box that it actually comes in, this is a smaller box. There's a bigger outer box. There's two large booklets. There's a pouch that it should come with and a tool for changing the straps. And it should come with two straps. This did not come with the strap. So I'm just going to really quickly zoom in so you can see the watch a little bit closer. So as I mentioned, this should come with two straps. It should come with a leather strap, which is like a vintage leather strap with a buckle, and then it should come with a NATO strap. Now, the reasons why I didn't get those is because, like I said, this is a used watch. The person who owned it prior to me, I guess, didn't have those straps or used those straps or lost those straps because they also didn't have the case that it came with or the changing tool. So those are the three things it didn't come with. And I'm actually pretty okay with it. And I'll go into reasons why. Number one, I love the look of this watch. Now, I looked around for a while to find the right Seamaster for me. I wanted to make the right decision. I actually went to Omega and I tried on a whole bunch of Seamasters. There was two that were in the running. Three, really. So number one was the Omega Seamaster No Time to Die. 42 millimeters in titanium bracelet sort of strap on it. I really love that watch, but it's around $10,000 and they wanted me to actually buy the one on the strap and then buy the bracelet because there's a waiting list for the one on the bracelet, at least here in New York. And I wasn't willing to do that because you're ending up paying well over $10,000, including tax, for a watch that is really exactly the same as a watch that's selling for $4,000 in the same case. So that Omega Seamaster Professional sells for $4,000. However, it's pretty expensive considering it's just a titanium version of that. You do get a little bit of special design there and there's, some other things, but it is very expensive. Then the next watch that I was considering was the new version of the 41 millimeter Heritage Omega Seamaster. And I really do love that watch. You get to see the movement from the back. You don't get to see it here, which kind of is one of the only things I don't like about this watch. And we'll get to that in just a minute. But that 41 millimeter version has a lollipop now and for the second hand. And it's at the end of the second hand. And I genuinely do not like that. And that's, I think, one of the biggest reasons why I went with this. Now, there's a lot of other reasons why. This is a limited edition, so these are a limited edition of 3,557. There is the Trilogy, so there is the Railmaster, the Speedmaster, and of course, the Seamaster. Now, these were limited to 3,557 per watch. So in other words, this one's limited to that, and the Speedmaster and the Railmaster. And then they also made a Trilogy that was a box set that was around $23,000. And you got all three watches. That was limited to 557. I don't know why they came up with these numbers. However, they have all sold out. Not only have these sold out, but the entire trilogies have sold out. And also that box set. So they aren't available. And I started looking around for this watch, and I wasn't able to find them very easily. And the ones that I was able to find from places like Watchbox, they were asking in the neighborhood of $10,000, of course, because they were obviously sold out. You can't get them anymore. And this is a 39mm watch, not a 41mm watch. It's a 39mm watch. It is a faithful recreation of the original Seamaster from 1957. The original real Seamaster that came out in 1957. This is almost a carbon copy of that watch, except you're getting a sapphire crystal and a Metas certified movement inside. That's it. Those are really the biggest differences. You're getting all the little details from that original watch, even the Omega logo, which is very, very hard to see, and it's right in the center of the sapphire crystal. You're getting the original Omega logo, so the vintage Omega logo there at the 12 o'clock. They also were kind of restrained in the design of the dial here. They went with the original look. It just says Seamaster Omega there at the top. They resisted putting in the master chronometer or whatever they do on all these other watches. I like that a lot. So it's really very, very cool. And then, of course, you're getting a very similar handset here, getting the broad arrow hand, that faux patina, whether or not you like that. But like I said, it is 39mm, so let's do some quick measurements. It's the first time I've actually measured this watch. So it is 39mm basically, so 38.7, 38.6. And everything that I've read, that's what it said it would measure out to be, just below 39mm. The lug-to-lug is a true lug-to-lug because you get female end links here, so that is a very good thing. It's about 48mm, 49mm just about. And then you have a nice big crown on here. Again, they said that they did some sort of 3D imaging of the watch, of the original watch, so 6.5mm of the original Seamaster from 1957. And then they basically cloned the watch, and because of that you do not get to see the movement in the back, which is really the only unfortunate thing about this watch. That's the only thing that I wish they sort of strayed away from and didn't do that. However, I completely understand it, and I really do enjoy this watch. It's literally become one of my favorite watches of all time. Immediately once I got it, it did not disappoint. When you get a watch sometimes it's a little lackluster compared to what you thought it would look like in person. This hero lived up to the name. So 14mm thick, so a lot thinner, and that has a lot to do with the very domed sapphire crystal on here. If you're measuring it from the bezel, which is kind of hard because the case actually sort of is sort of, I don't know, it's sort of flanked on the edges here, the case back. So you're not going to get a really good measurement here. I think it's around 12mm thick, but on the edges it's around 11mm thick. So it's actually pretty thin, but not incredibly thin. And then you're getting a flat link bracelet. So the other complaint that I have about this watch is that it doesn't actually taper. And I'm not sure why they didn't do that. It really doesn't make sense because the original watch would have had a tapering bracelet. I really love the flat link, but they didn't taper it. It's 19mm, so it's actually a pretty thin bracelet. You get huge screws in it, of course. Very Omega style bracelet. It's really well made, beautiful, brushed down the center, polished on the outside. Very solid end links, so they obviously upgraded the bracelet completely. I just wish that it actually tapered. That's all. The buckle is a very substantial buckle, and you get micro adjust, which is really important these days. On the fly micro adjust, you have a push button right there. There's actually a little plastic still left on there. I'm going to remove it. Very easy to actually adjust. On the fly, you get about 10 millimeters of adjustment. I paid $5,000 for this watch. Now, I know that is kind of expensive considering that I didn't get everything that came with it. However, I'm never really going to wear it on a strap. If I do want to wear it on a strap, Artem Straps actually makes a strap in 19 millimeters. It comes with a really awesome buckle that I could use. I'm going to put it on there for the full review so you guys can see it. I'm going to do a full review of this very soon because I'm very excited about this watch and I want to wear it and show it to you guys and tell you what I actually think of it. It's just really a very cool watch. I'm very excited about it. Eventually I will buy that leather pouch that it came with. I will buy the tool that it came with. I'm just waiting to find one that is affordable on eBay. There are a few already there. I'm going to get it for the right price. I'm not going to go crazy because then I might have as well paid the extra, I mean, they're selling for anywhere between $7,000, which is what they originally sold for, and $10,000. So if you want one that is in this condition with everything, you're going to probably pay around the $900 range, $9,000 range, excuse me, $900. I would have bought three. That's what you're going to pay. So that's why I'm going to wait and try and complete the package on my own, which is not going to be very hard. I might never get the straps, and I really don't care about that. Anyway. Bezel action, that is another little pain point on this watch, but really not that big of a deal. It's bidirectional. Bidirectional doesn't bother me. It just doesn't feel all that great. It doesn't move. It's just, a little bit clicky, but not in a good way. I don't know how to explain that, but it sounds good. It's just it's not as tactile. And the actual feel of it isn't as good as, let's say, a watch that is a lot cheaper than this, like my Mito Ocean Star Tribute, which actually reminds me of this watch a lot. And I was thinking about it when I put this watch on. It reminds me of this watch a lot. This watch reminds me of that watch. That watch reminds me of this watch. They're very, very similar. Very smooth operation, no date. Everything works beautifully. As I said, it's been authenticated by eBay. And I've already gone through this a few times with eBay, and I really do like the process. So let me show it to you on my wrist. 39 millimeters, 14 millimeters, but it's around 12 millimeters without that crystal. And I have a 7.5 inch wrist. Today I am wearing, of course, a watch that I've been wearing on and off a lot recently. It is my Ventura MGS Spark. It is not fully charged because of the capacitor. I've been looking at someone to actually replace the capacitor, but when you press it, there's the time. It's reset again because I didn't wear it yesterday, and now I have to reset it again. And I literally just put this on, but that's unfortunate, and I do need to get this fixed. But another purchase from eBay, which, like I said, I get burned sometimes when I purchase from eBay, so you do need to be careful with eBay. It is a pretty shady place. But there you go. 39 millimeters on my 7.5 inch wrist. It's like 38.6 millimeters. Lug to lug, really good. Tight lug to lug. It does sit a little bit higher on the wrist, so it does wear like a 13 millimeter thickness, but I gotta say, it's super comfortable. I've been wearing it. No issues, nothing like my Planet Ocean, which was 45 millimeters, 46 millimeters. This wears a lot more comfortable. You do get a ceramic bezel. It's that liquid ceramic, metal ceramic, or whatever they call it. Then you do have an inner bezel there, which is made out of metal, and the pip is raised in that sort of little chevron at the top. I guess that's what you would call it. really awesome. The dial is a matte color, printed indices. I'm just so used to saying that. Printed indices on here. And then, of course, you get that 9, 6, 3, and 12. The only problem I have with this watch is that it now makes me want the other two members of the trilogy. That is the Speedmaster 1957. If you've ever seen this watch, now that watch is not selling, even if it doesn't have box and papers, it's selling for around $10,000, at least what I've seen in good condition. And there's a reason for that. It's freaking cool. It's 39 millimeters, and it has the exact same case. It's basically the exact same, reissue of that 1957 Trilogy watch that they came out with way back when. It has the same bracelet, though, that does not taper. But, and then, of course, there's the Railmaster, which is another awesome watch. Essentially, this watch without a rotating bezel. But very, very cool. I think it might be a little bit thinner, too. I think this is 300 meters of water resistance, so I think that's like 200 meters water resistance. Either way, another really good-looking watch, just says Railmaster down there. Anti-magnetic, because they're all anti-magnetic, the 15,000 gauze, I believe, because it is a master chronometer. Metas certified watch. You can't go really. It's just an awesome watch, awesome movement, awesome bracelet. Let's see if the Lume is awesome. I don't know. I haven't really seen it. I haven't had the opportunity to test it. So I'm going to test it right now. Let's check it out. Let's see if it disappoints or if it actually delivers. So the Lume is way better than it was on my Planet Ocean. And I think there's two reasons why. It's obviously decently applied. I wouldn't say it's very liberally applied, but it's pretty decent. And then, of course, your indices here are larger than they are on the applied indices that you get with the Planet Ocean. So you're getting better Lume. So it is larger indices, better Lume. It's just more surface area you get, the better the Lume will shine. There's more Lume there, just physically more. So it works. I really do love this watch. It's so cool. And I'm really glad that I went with this watch over the No Time to Die. I really do love the No Time to Die. I would love to add one to my collection eventually. But if they're asking over, basically they're asking over list price, because they were asking me to pay $8,100 for the one on the strap. And that's a NATO strap. It's a double pass-through, which I will never use. And then they were telling me pay an extra $1,500 and you can get a bracelet. I wasn't willing to do that. And then on the used market, they were selling for over $10,000 plus tax. And it just didn't seem like the right move for me. That is not a limited edition. It is a limited run. So eventually they will stop making them. But one of the arguments that I make is that, and it's one of the arguments that not arguments, but one of the discussions that I actually had with the person who was trying to sell me the watch. A very nice guy, but I said Bond, the No Time to Die movie, was to come out about 2 years ago, and it never did. They came out with the watch because they had released it already, and they had started selling them. And then eventually they ramped up the advertising for that watch, which just happened recently. So a lot of people really, started taking notice of the watch, but it's been on sale for at least 2 years already. And now that they've started this, they're not going to stop making it immediately. They're going to keep it out there for another year or 2 years. So by the time we're done, there's going to be tens of thousands of them out there. And I think people think that they're getting some sort of really limited watch that's not going to be around for a very long time. But that's not the case. This is actually pretty limited. There are 3,557 of them. They have all sold out, though. And then there is the Trilogy, but no one's going to split up that Trilogy of watches. Those are selling over list price as well. So I think this is a pretty cool watch that's actually kind of rare. And that's something that I really do like. It doesn't look like every Omega that you see every day. And that's because these aren't around very much anymore. And if you want to buy one, an original one, they sell for over $10,000 as well. So that's just the way it is. And it's like a very cool vintage style watch that is very, very modern. So you have a very modern bracelet, modern case, modern construction, very modern movement, without any of the pitfalls of a vintage watch. So I kind of like this. I think it's a keeper. It's one of these watches that I will never sell. And that's something I never said with the Planet Ocean. So here we are. Anyway, tell me what you guys think of this watch in the comments below. Like I said, I always want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you guys think. Did I make the right decision between the three watches? I think that 41mm version with the blue bezel, black dial was the one that I really wanted. It was $6,500. And I could have gotten it for a little bit less than that, I believe. However, there was that lollipop, and I just couldn't get my head around that lollipop on the end of the second hand. It was just weird looking. It didn't fit right. And it wasn't something that I was into, so I couldn't pull the trigger on it. This hit everything on the head, I think, on nail on the head, or you know, for the most part. There was a couple of little misses here and there. The bezel I can live with. It's like nothing. It's great. It's really just a little nitpick. And the tapering in the bracelet, that's the only thing that I could say is actually really something that I wish they didn't do the way that they did it. That's it. But tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Like I said, I want to hear from you guys. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel. I very much appreciate it. Please follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is WatchChrisBlog. I have some links in the description. Those links are to Amazon. If you click those links and buy anything, it helps support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything extra. However, I very much appreciate it. Anyway, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the next video.